my memory of the event with Jamie was that I had come in to record one day at Funimation, and I was in the lobby, and she was there, and she had just changed her hair somehow. She was wearing it differently, or she had cut it somehow, probably as far away as I am from Casey. And she said, "Hey, hon," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I love your hair." And she's like, "I know, I just got it." And I walked around the counter, and I was kind of standing there, kind of flipping it, and like, "Oh my gosh, it's really beautiful. I love it." And I put my hand up in the bottom of it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is great." It was not painful. It was not hurtful. It was not sexual. And it happened at least 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. And if I may say, I saw Jamie in the lobby at Funimation in January of this year, literally a week to 10 days before this social media thing started. And she was like, "Hey, hon," and went over and hugged her and said hello. She and I have had, as far as I've known, a very casual, friendly relationship for many, many years. And I was astounded.
It would appear that we have new information and documents provided in the case with Vic Mignogna versus Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, and Ron Toye, which suggests that Vic Mignogna and his fans, along with Nick Rekieta, are the absolute scum of the internet who went as far as to bully, harass, and make threats online, as according to what is about to be shown on screen, which indicate that anyone that stands with Vic are just as to blame as he is. As once more, before we begin, if you are new to this channel and want to be kept up to date with all things involving Vic Mignogna, Monica Rial, Ron Toye, and many of the news and updates involving the Vic Mignogna case, then be sure to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to never miss a single upload. Be sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below by giving this video a big thumbs up if you guys do stand with Vic, as well as making sure to check out and subscribe to my main channel over at Unreal and Gaming, and follow me at Twitter at Unreal and Gaming to stay connected with me at all times. And if you have anything you would like to share or tag me in involving Vic Mignogna or any of the parties involved in this case, then be sure to go on ahead and follow me at Twitter. Now, I do want to go on ahead and kick things off here with a post that was tweeted by Chamber of Hearts over on Twitter, which a big thank you goes out to her, as she went on to point out something very interesting in the documents provided, as it goes on to state, and I quote, "Plaintiff saw the writing on the wall and spurred his legion of fans to defend him in order to minimize any public criticism. His fans have attacked any and all critics, aligned with an internet shock jock who unleashes a nightly torrent of abuse, harassment, and vitriol online. Plaintiff's goals is clear. With enough abuse, harassment, and threats, plaintiff's accusers will fall silent. Plaintiff's lawsuits is the hammer designed to smash Monica Rial and Jamie Marchi, two well-known voice actors. If plaintiff can silence these two women, those with less notoriety and power will retreat into the shadows," basically suggesting this idea that Vic Mignogna had went out to, quote, "spur his legion of fans to defend him in order to minimize any public criticism," which again is yet another lie, because Vic himself never encouraged his, quote, "legion of fans" to defend him in any sort of way to where he encourages harassment or public abuse in any kind of way. If anything, as pointed out in the previous videos, Vic went along ahead to tell his fans not to harass anybody, which is a public statement made on Twitter, and also on Discord encouraging those to spread positivity during negative times in which he was dealing with. Now, I don't know how in the world that correlates to silencing anybody in terms of having to criticize someone's opinion on said individual, but they also paint out this narrative that Nick Rekieta is an online harasser in which goes on a nightly torrent of, quote, abuse, harassment, and vitriol online in order to, quote, bully the plaintiff's accusers into being silent, which again is absolute BS, because Nick Rekieta gets on his live streams and provides us with the necessary documents. He provides us with the depositions and getting a first-hand look as to what is going on, and guess what? He does make fun of people. Nick Rekieta does indeed poke fun of a person's appearance or criticizes their intellectual stances, but by no means is that a level of harassment. So if I call you fat, you're gonna get into your fifis and you're gonna cry wolf in order to paint this narrative that I'm some sort of a bully? If I go as far as to challenge your personal subjective bias and also going as far as to poke fun at you, so now I'm being scrutinized and labeled as the absolute worst person in the world for having criticism and jokes being directed towards you to criticize and direct jokes at me. So it's a one-way kind of street here that these people are dealing with. In the fact that it's okay for them to have an opinion on Nick, but the minute Nick fires back and having an opinion on them, oh no, let's get into our fifis and cry wolf. On top of the fact that they also painted this narrative, and the fact that they also went as far as to paint the narrative that the hashtag I Stand With Vic group have been attacking and trying to silence all critics, which again is false. Yes, there are certain individuals in the hashtag I Stand With Vic group that have committed some very questionable acts, as did the members over on the Kick Vic side of things. If anything, the hashtag Kick Vic group have committed more egregious acts than anybody did on the hashtag I Stand With Vic group. So here, they're painting this narrative that every one of Vic Mignogna's fans are harassers, they're bullies, they're attackers. So basically, you watching this video right now, they're implying that you are an online harasser, you're encouraging levels of abuse, harassment, and vitriol online, which couldn't be further from the truth. So they're trying to paint out this narrative that it's either you stand with us or you are an enemy of the people. That's the way they're trying to make this out to be. You're not allowed to have a second opinion, or you're not allowed to question the opinion of others, but more or less you have to stand with the quote victims, otherwise you are the monster. You get how this works? But let's not forget how many times Monica went on to lie during her deposition, which one of her main lies went as far as to state that Stan, during the encounter with Vic Mignogna in his hotel room, went along ahead to save her, and Stan had a different testimony in comparison to what Monica said, because the way Monica described the situation, she was distraught, she was in shock, she was in pain, she was emotional, she didn't know what to do, and how Stan knew this, and how Stan came to the rescue, and how Stan knew about all of this. But when asking Stan himself, he doesn't recall any of these events. So let's go on ahead and take a look at what Monica said versus what Stan had to put out during his testimony.
And then Vic said, hey, can you come by my hotel room? There's something I want to show you. And I can't recall exactly. I think it was the Full Metal Fantasy film that he had done, his fan film. And so I went to his hotel room because, like I said, I had been flirting with Rial all weekend, and he was dating a friend of mine named Michelle Speck. So I went with him to the hotel room. He played for me the video, and in the middle of the video, he grabbed me by the arms and he turned me around and he started kissing me. And, sorry, and I was...
It's okay.
I was raped when I was 15 years old. And so for me, it was a very difficult moment. I was frightened, I was scared, I didn't know what to do. When I was 15, I had fought back, and that didn't end well for me, so I just kind of went along with it. He kept kissing me and kind of pushed me back onto the bed and actually got on top of me, and I still have like a very visual, like a nightmare actually, that the feeling of looking at the door and thinking, how do I get out of this? Like how do I get out of there without ruining the friendship that we'd had, that we'd built? And then Stan came to the door, and when Stan came to the door, he jumped up and ran to the door, and I kind of covered my face because being pale, if anything's happening, you can see it all over my face. Stan came in. He asked me as we were leaving, you know, are you okay? I said, oh, yeah, I'm fine. And just kind of kept covering my face, and we went to dinner. I don't recall where we went or what was spoken about because I think I was in shock the whole time. And when we came back, he went out there. Outside of his room, there was this little patio, and he was standing on the patio, and he called Michelle.
I am over the age of 18 years and competent to make this affidavit. I have personal knowledge of the facts stated in this affidavit, and these facts are true and correct. 2. I have read Monica Rial's response to interrogatory number 4, contained in Monica Rial's amended objections and responses to plaintiff's first interrogatories and requests for production. In cause number 141307-474-19 in the 141st District Court of Tarrant County, Texas. The response. Excuse me. This response is attached to my affidavit as Exhibit A. 3. I was the owner of a ZumiCon in Oklahoma City in November 2007. 4. Monica Rial and Victor Mignogna were both guests at that convention. 5. I have no memory of the events described in bullet point 4 of the response. 6. If I had noticed Monica Rial being distressed leaving Victor Mignogna's room, I am certain I would remember it. 7. In subsequent years, I invited Monica Rial and Victor Mignogna back to my conventions several times. I would never have done this if I had been informed of any problems between Monica Rial and Victor Mignogna.
But it doesn't end there, because courtesy of Chamber of Hearts over on Twitter, she also went on to provide more documents as it goes on to state, and I quote, "Plaintiff is a public figure and his lawsuit is an all-out assault on Mrs. Rial and Toye's right to free speech to comment on a matter of public concern, i.e. plaintiff's conduct with children and women both in public and in private," which this isn't a case to where Vic wants to silence anybody. He even went on record that he wants Monica, Jamie, and Ron Toye to stop defaming him in the public. That's like saying, hey, stop talking shit about me, but you won't stop talking shit. So the only way for me to make you stop talking shit is that I have to bring your ass to court in order for you to stop talking shit about me. You have all the right in the world to free speech, but you don't have the right to A, demonize somebody in the public eye, B, defame someone in allowing their work, their 20-year work, to go down the drain, and C, taking away someone's livelihood. So that's why Vic Mignogna is fighting in this case. Again, there is no physical evidence to support the narrative that this happened. And of course, people could say, well, he was hooking up with girls half his age. Well, if he's 50 and or 40, what's half of 40? It's 20. What's half of 50? Assumingly enough, you can ask and say, well, 25. So if he was 40, 50 years old, hooking up with 20, 25-year-olds, then how is that illegal? Surely enough, if he's married, from a morale standpoint, it's pretty bad. Yeah, cheating is a bad thing. I don't condone cheating. I don't think anybody does. And you either fall on one side of the spectrum in comparison to the other. Either A, you've cheated on someone before, or B, you've been cheated on. So yes, one or the other isn't the right thing to fall on. But in this case here, if the individual is 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old with consent, then how is that objectively a bad thing? Once again, it's this narrative to paint this picture out and making Vic look worse, especially when these individuals, who are also public figures, are demonizing him in front of the public in and of itself. So again, hypocrisy at its finest. But I'm going to leave you guys off with some clips for you guys to make judgments of your own, which also include Ty Beard, as I do want to go on ahead and get your thoughts and comments on the fact that you're being blamed as a fan for standing with Vic, and I want to get your thoughts on that, if it's right, if it's wrong, and which side you guys fall on in this case. Again, thank you all so much for watching. If of course you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button, slap a like down below if you guys do stand with Vic, and of course, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. Tune back in for more, follow me on Twitter, and with all that having to be said, I leave you guys with the following clips. Enjoy.
And when this happened, did you laugh?
I laughed kind of, but not a oh my gosh, that's humorous laugh, more of a I can't believe you just said that in front of these people. And also the fact that when he delivered the I just want to be able to say I ate Monica Rial, again, it was the delivery. It wasn't like he just said it. He actually was touching my face and pulling me towards him when he said it.
Has Funimation done any other investigations about Vic, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge, I believe that there was one other in the past, but I only came to that knowledge through secondhand, another voice actor from LA.
Does it state it was so much fun with a kissy face emoji?
Yes. Well, first of all, I use my Twitter predominantly for my job. So it's keeping up appearances, making sure everybody knows that, hey, we had a great time. So yeah, it was basically just trying to make sure that everybody knew, hey, we're all working together, everything's great.
Do you have a personal Twitter that
Hold
you
on.
use just between you and your friends?
No, ma'am.
If I were to tell you that that there was a video that I can't produce to you, obviously, in the context of a deposition, but there was a video when Vic was directing a show for Funimation, and I believe you were one of the people that were working with him.
Yes, ma'am.
And in that video, when you had finished, I believe you walked up and you hugged Vic.
Yes, ma'am. It was a work-related thing.
But in the video, you don't appear to be like with him, or you pushing back at him, or
As I said in my statement that I put on Twitter, I had chosen to forgive him for the one incident that we had in 2007 because I did consider him a good colleague, a friend, and I wanted to believe the best in him.